Does the astrology explain the war we're seeing between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and legacy media against content creators, decentralized media, and Justin Baldoni? Well, hold on to your moneymakers, my friend. Take a seat because we are going to look at the astrology for the week of July 7th. And you're not going to believe how much it explains, or maybe you will believe how much it explains what we are seeing right now. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley Brianna Eve. You're going to see both very spiritual content, astrology, human design, as well as media manipulation, branding, and marketing. My experience over 15 years is within the branding and marketing space, but I've been an astrologer for as long as I can remember, and I've studied human design at both the BG5 Institute and the International Human Design School, which are the official organizations for human design. And so I work with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, helping them find, we could call it higher purpose, but essentially find a path that feels good and gets them paid for what they're best at in their personal brands. And for those of us that are spiritual seekers, astrology and human design are a huge piece of that and understanding ourselves on a deeper level. Well, today we're not looking at a person's chart, baby. No, we are looking at the astrology. Let me know in the comments. I used to, oh my goodness, 4 years ago, probably now 5 years ago, I did weekly astrology reports every Monday. Let me know if you'd like me to start those up again. If there's a demand for them, I'm more than happy to. The reason why I originally did this one today or dove into this one today is because it's so applicable to what's going on with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni. And I thought I had to share it with you guys. But let me know if this interests you long term. All right, let's dive right in, my friends. The first thing we're seeing this week, if you follow astrology, you've probably heard this, is Uranus moved into Gemini. Now, this is really significant for what we're seeing with Blake and Justin. Now, actually, let's take a step back because I want you to understand the significance of Uranus in Gemini. We're looking at the energy of World War II. I know you're probably holding your breath. You're going, don't say three, don't say three, don't say three. No, but World War II, Uranus was in Gemini. I find, and what we're going to talk about more today, is that the Uranus and Gemini energy we're moving into is more of information rebellion and information wars around legacy media and also around AI. When we look at, guys, for World War II in the astrology, there were other very significant markers that set it up, especially in regards to Eris. And I'm not seeing that as we enter this. What I'm seeing is a lot of trines, a lot of positive energy, a lot of good energy for creativity and rewiring your identity and spiritual evolution and higher purpose. I'm seeing a lot of fantastic energy. So just to help you, so no one stresses out, don't stress out, guys, don't stress out. And we got to be on our toes in regards to legacy media. And this is what I mean by that. We're going to see an information rebellion. And we're seeing it right now. Like I said, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni are just a pop culture example of what is going on a larger scale. We have legacy media on one side versus content creators. We have mainstream media, which typically is state-backed or corporate controlled, right? I have many videos on Condé Nast and how Condé Nast just owns all of these different media platforms. So we have the legacy media on one side, and we have the content creators, which I like to say is this decentralized voice on the other. What we have, pick your opponent, carefully curated headlines, paid for by celebrities or people in power. I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of information, SEO manipulation, gatekeeping, approved truths, which is what we are seeing with Blake Lively. The approved truth right now is that anyone that speaks out against Blake is MAGA, right-wing, mommy sleuths that hate women is essentially it. It is a misogyny slop fest. If you listen to New York Times and that okie dokie, whoever that person is, I don't even know. You listen to them, they're the voice for what was. They're the voice for what was. Then on the other side, you have content creators, those decentralized voices. And Uranus just moved here. It's not a light switch. So we've been seeing this amping up. So it's not like that all of a sudden now we're just dealing with this energy. It's been ramping up. It's going to continue ramping up because in 2027, I'm going to have to do a video about this. We have from human design, the cross of planning is crumbling. In 2027, it's moving into the cross of sleeping phoenix. That is individuality, my friends. It doesn't mean that you don't have your community. It doesn't mean that you stop relying on others, that you're a one-woman show, one-man show, you're a lone wolf. No, that's not what it means. It means discernment. It means you choose who your tribe is. It means you're no longer caught up in the veils and the seeking of gurus and being a sheep. That shit's falling apart and it scares legacy media. It scares those in power. And right now, people like Blake and Ryan and legacy media are on the same side because they don't want decentralized voices to win. They don't want to shake up and how money is distributed and how money is made. Because here's the thing that drives me mental is that now we're going to go on a rant. This is Uranus and Gemini 8th house energy, my friends. The legacy media and the Blake and Ryans of the world want you to believe that the only one making money on this is content creators. That the only one that has something to gain from this lawsuit are those that are against Blake. But let me tell you, after having 15 years in branding and marketing, the ones that have the most to lose right now are legacy media. They're getting massive paychecks from corporations to run ads. Even if I've seen some PR people say, well, it's not like, Blake Lively's writing a check for $1 million to Vanity Fair or something or to New York Times. Don't bullshit me. There might not be an immediate check exchanging hands, but clicks are money. And having an exclusive is money in the bank because every other platform is going to link back to your shit. See, we're dealing with Uranus energy today, my friends. I'm just over the shit. So we have that on one side, the content creators on the other side, which is real-time receipts, alternative framings, questioning. And that's the cross of the sleeping phoenix energy. Individuality. Standing up for truth. No longer a sheep, no longer just falling in line. And again, like I said, and what I want you to keep in your mind is that scares the shit. You don't even have to believe astrology for this. That scares the shit out of people that are in charge. Content creators are also going to be personal storytelling. Conspiracy, if those are listening on the new podcast I'm putting together, that's going to be strictly astrology. You're going to have to stay tuned for more information on that. You're listening, air quotes, conspiracy theory acceleration. I've always joked conspiracy theories are just 6 months ahead of the time because every time it comes true. Content creators are pattern mapping. They're asking questions. They're critical thinking. They are no longer just buying the headlines. So Uranus and Gemini is an information rebellion and an information war around communication, media, and thought. So one thing I will say, whether you're a content creator, whether you are just a pop culture enthusiast following this story or any other story, protect yourself, one, because that's important. When powerful people get involved, protecting yourself is very important. Take care of your mental health is very important. But also, stand your ground. Because nothing changes unless we change. Nothing changes unless the collective push back. And nothing's guaranteed. But what we're seeing in real time with Blake Lively is the mainstream media is now being shown to be running these PR puff pieces, these glossy pieces that are pushing a certain narrative. And independent creators that are bringing the receipts, pointing out inconsistencies and doing deeper analyses are undercutting that spin. So Uranus right off the bat, which I expect we are going to see, although it's not all bad, don't worry, because we have Sedna hanging out there, but we do have Elgal, which is the blinking demon eye, which isn't new as of today. But I would expect to see chaos in communications, not just PR communication, but AI. Stuff around the news, I would expect people starting to almost feel like it's glitching out. Like, am I seeing and hearing what I'm seeing and hearing? Like, how can I be that gaslit? It reminds me of an episode of Buffy where Buffy does like a ritual. I don't know if there's any Buffy fans. Are you excited for the new series? I'm so excited. But she figures out that her sister Dawn isn't her real sister, right? And so she's walking around the house, and all of the images of Dawn and all of the pictures are like fading in and out. And then if I remember the episode correctly, she sees Dawn, and Dawn's kind of fading in and out. And that's what when she realizes that she's not real. She's not her sister. I think she actually says that, "You're not my sister." That's what I expect to be seeing for everyone under media, communication, maybe even AI. We're going to have the gatekeepers on one side, which is going to be the Blake Lively's, the Ryan Reynolds, the legacy media, even politicians, all of that shit, versus the glitch in the system. You are the glitch in the system. Glitches in systems, based on those that are running the system, feel like the glitch needs to be fixed. So it will take a rebellion under Uranus and Gemini. Now, on a more personal level, Uranus and Gemini does suggest transformational experiences related to the mysteries of life and death, higher purpose, spiritual revolution, kind of like an upheaval. I imagine what we're going to see is a lot of people going on spiritual journeys. And I'm even seeing that. A lot of people that aren't even big into astrology or human design are booking those types of sessions with me because they're feeling this pull to understand themselves on a deeper level. They're feeling this pull towards higher purpose. And that's what we're going to see. And again, I don't see an actual world war. Eris was a major player in that. Uranus gets blamed a lot for that. Uranus gets blamed a lot. And, Uranus had a role, but it was mostly Eris that was causing a lot of issues. Personally, as well, I would say fresh ideas, seeing things from a new perspective, just don't resist it. Here's the thing. One of my biggest pet peeves is using astrology or human design as an excuse on why you can't do something. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a reflector. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a projector. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a Libra. Do you want it or not? Stop using shit as excuses and go after what you want. Because here's the thing. Astrology, human design, any kind of personality tools, even in positive psychology has them as well. They're just more allowed mainstream. You're called crazy and woo if you like astrology, but you're called like forward and progressive and logical and a good member of society if you take like, I don't know, the Gallup Strengths Finder test. It's so ridiculous. It's all the same stuff, just under a different name. But at the end of the day, you and only you have control of your life. Everything within astrology and human design can be a strength or a weakness. You get to decide. You are always going to default to the level of your identity. And if the level of your identity is trying to justify why you can't accomplish something, why other people can, but it's hard for you, why, fear is allowed to hold you back, but no one else, because everyone has fear, my friend. Guess what? You're not going to change your life. And it's not because you're a Taurus. It's not because you're a Libra. It's not because you're a reflector. It's because you are unwilling to look at the shadow patterns holding you back and then take radical self-responsibility for those patterns. You are unwilling to look dead ass in the face the shadows, the demons, the nightmares, and the fears that have been controlling your life, and you have called it fate every step of the way. And the reason why is because once you look dead in the face of your fears, dead in the face of those demons, the shadow patterns, you have a choice. Because once you acknowledge it, you either do something about it or realize that you're the only one holding yourself back. And that is deeply uncomfortable. So when we're looking at this energy with Gemini, especially with Sedna here, this is Sedna right between Gemini, right between Uranus and Venus, we have Sedna. This is soul growth, action towards higher purpose and seeing things in a new way. This is, especially in this placement, a deep, almost painful focus on new perspectives, beliefs, shifting worldview, shifting potential. It's a journey of healing from past betrayals and feeling like an outsider to really owning who you are. It's finally standing deeply in the truth that all you had to be all along was you. So when we're looking at Sedna, she tends to be associated with themes of isolation and sacrifice and transformation. She draws from the myth of the Inuit goddess who was cast into the ocean's depths. And then Uranus, of course, is going to be like breakthroughs and discoveries and revolutions and inventions. So it's through the pain, through being cast out in the depths of the ocean, you find a way out. You invent a way forward. You create the revolution. You create the breakthrough, which leads to your higher purpose and higher path. But that's all you, baby. That's all you. One of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins is, your past doesn't equal your future unless you live there. Your past does not equal your future unless you live there. And Uranus with Sedna is being like, leave it behind. What heavy ass baggage, what heavy ass backpack have you been carrying with you that is time to let go of? So we have like this blend of this revolutionary energy with Uranus, with deep, transformative, like that. I'm not really, divine goddess, but like that divine energy of Sedna, that raw goddess energy of like, I create my future. I decide how things go. Reminds me of one of my favorite poems, Invictus. I'm the captain of my sail. I'm the master of my fate. But this is all a fresh perspective. And again, a lot of positive energy. We have Uranus sextile Saturn. Fresh looks and the energy to take them on. The energy to break down the old structures that no longer serve you and build on the ones that do. You are one of a kind. You are, and it's so dorky, but you are the brand. When we're moving into the Cross the Sleeping Phoenix in 2027, the whole point is you are the art. Abundance as a matter of spirit through selfishness. And I know someone just had a heart attack and thought, selfishness, actually, that's bad. I can't be selfish. The energy we're moving into and preparing for now, because everything's a 7-year cycle, is selfishness. Rahu said it's work for soul, work for spirit, work for higher purpose. Being willing to work for what you want. As a matter of spirit, though, connected because it's aligned, not because you're just chasing shit, because it's aligned. We also have Uranus in a sextile to Neptune. It's creative time. There's going to be so many opportunities for you to take on creative or spiritual activities, to take on new paths, to stretch your wings and grow and expand. I'd also say like Uranus sextile Neptune is also like hang out in nature more. Hang out in nature more. It's also kind of the energy there. But it's just like this recharging based on your surroundings, especially with conjunction of Venus. Surrounding yourself with what you believe is beautiful, what you know is beautiful. And Uranus trine Pluto. We have so much night. Like, I love this energy. So your instincts are going to be heightened. And right now, there's like this deep, penetrating insight into life, what you are a stand for. And if you have a personal brand, what your brand is a stand for. More than ever, you want to put that forefront. Because while others around you may be floundering to figure out what is true for them, you get to decide now what is true for you and take action on it. The buck moon, that is the next significant movement in this week. July 10th, the moon moves into Capricorn. This energy that we're going to be seeing again, communications, negotiations, contracts, listen and learn is going to be the energy that we're moving into with the full moon. I would say some kind of cleansing ritual, releasing ritual. I mean, it's going to sound corny, but write down shit that you don't want to carry with you and burn it. With this aspect, obviously, it's going to be opposite the sun. You might be feeling a little out of sorts. You might be feeling certain things coming up that you're really dissatisfied around. Leverage this. Burn it, baby. I'm big on burning things. Not like Ryan with schools, but paper, writing things on paper that I don't want to bring with me, and I burn it. I've done that with clients a lot. It's just symbolic, and that can be really powerful. Leave it in the past. That dissatisfaction that you're going to be feeling going into this full moon is around the fact that you're feeling out of sorts because you've outgrown those old identities. You've outgrown who you were. That's something to be proud of. I say to my clients all the time, either you're expanding and growing or you're contracting and dying. Those are the two options. There is no stagnation, true stagnation. And you might say, yeah, there is in nature. No, there's not. I welcome you to come to my farm and put some water in a bucket on a hot day. Stagnant water. Tell me what happens to it. It might appear that nothing's really happening, but it's going to get mold and mildew and disgusting and gets so gross, stinks. Even you think of a river, if a tree falls down, the water truly is stagnant. It's not actually stagnant. Something's growing, something's diminishing. Oxygen in the water will diminish while algae bloom grows. You are always either expanding or contracting. You are either growing or dying. And so leverage this energy of the full moon. If you feel that dissatisfaction, what is it? What is it that's holding you back? Finally face it. Drink lots of water. Sounds so mundane, that tip, but drink lots of water on this full moon, lots of rest, and do something that allows you to let go, because it's also trine Mars. It's all about courage. It's all about confidence, drive in the right direction, letting go of things because it's in the right direction. It's self-leadership. So I would say July 10th, that moon is moving forward with confidence, tolerance for, it's going to be a bumpy road. It is for everyone. Clarity and energy. It's a positive energy. It's going to give you, this moon, a clear sense of direction or not. And why do I say or not? Ra Ruhu used to say this all the time with human design as well. Why do I say or not? It's like when people talk about portals. They're like, everyone's going to elevate during this portal. Bitch, no. No, we're not. It's an energetic potential. It's just like your strengths in your human design, just like your strengths in your astrology. The potential's there or not. For example, Ra Ruhu used to always say that in regards to the channel of struggle. He used to always say, you either struggle for the right things or not, meaning you struggle for the wrong things. So I'd say this energy, it's all about bravery. It's all about moving closer to your higher purpose. It sounds so corny. I hate saying that because it's so corny and overused, but truly, like, targeted intentional action towards your higher purpose for this moon. And the final piece from this week that we're going to look at, I know I'm not doing a full chart read for every day. I'm just looking at these major pieces because there's a lot going on this week. A lot going on. I'm not going to lie. Maybe you feel it already. It's only Monday. You're like, I need a nap, water, then maybe a Tylenol for the headache that's setting in already, just energetically. Oof. It's a lot of energy this week. Okay, so the final piece we're going to look at, check out Saturn here. Watch what happens. This is July 12th into the 13th. Bam! Retro, baby. Neptune conjunction, already retrograde, but Saturn's moving retrograde on the 13th. We also have, one, this is self-leadership, but two, there's a sextile to Pluto, conjunct the retrograde Neptune. We have trine the white moon. We also have this energy of Ceres with Eris and Chiron in the 6th house, which is like, can be a little bit of chaos type energy in terms of like addressing your inner wounds, addressing your shadow patterns. It might feel a little chaotic, this energy that we're moving into, but it's not. Might feel it, but it's not. Although Saturn's going to expect you to fix that shit. Saturn's going to hold your feet to the fire of dealing with that. But it's not really just a transit. Remember what I said with the moon? Cleansing ritual, fire burning ritual, because this is a cleansing. It's a reset. It's a remembering. Now, this energy, the combination is a remembering and a reset on how you serve, or habits. Your habits create your reality, and your habits are based on your identity. But what do you do day in and day out? If you want to create a different reality, you're not going to do it doing the same thing you've been doing every day. It doesn't work like that. You've got to reset those habits. You got to reset the direction in alignment with your higher purpose. But remember, I said we have trine white moon. She's often tied. Hello, we have a visitor. Hi, are you getting bored? Nope, you just bumped the mic. And you have the hiccups too. Bump the mic and you have the hiccups. So if anyone's watching, this is Daisy. Yes, you are. She's our newest rescue. And she says, I've been napping long enough, Mom. I'm going to wrap it up. Can you give me a couple more minutes? Couple minutes. Let's just do this. I might have just a couple words left. What do you think? She says, it's never just a couple words, Mom. So the white moon, Selena. Hello. I know, sweetheart. You just down. Good girl. Is a positive energy. Okay. So she's often tied to spirituality, divine protection, karmic grace. Hello, baby. So when we've got this energy that we're moving into with Saturn and Neptune retrograde, I would say this is focusing on Where's your energy going towards? Hello, what are you devoted to? Especially since Uranus started the week with that conjunction with Venus. It's really looking at and resetting your values. So the start of the week, you're being asked, like, what are your values? And by the end of the week, it's like, you better have reset it. Sorry, the audio is going to be horrible if you're listening on the podcast, but Daisy's just over it. She is over it. So the start of the week, setting you up July 7th to look at those values, look at your truth, pull back the veils. And at the end of the week, Saturn's like, all right, last chance. Can we not eat my charger? Thank you. What else do I want to say about that? Let's talk really briefly about possible shadow patterns this week. Burnout masked as higher purpose or being in service, but it's more people-pleasing energy. Escapism through spiritual bypassing, especially with that Neptune energy, retrograde with Saturn, rather than, and that, even that escapism or that spiritual bypassing can also be found in, I can't do that because I have ADHD, or I can't do that because I'm a Libra, or I can't do that because this is conjunct this or square that, or I'm a projector. No spiritual bypassing. That's going to be a shadow pattern. Also, self-sacrifice in relationships or roles that drain your essence. And I would say final thing is feeling disillusioned or lost if you're overly identified with your past identity, and even more so work as your worth, right? That's why I always tell my clients, you're not charging your worth. Don't ever price something at your worth. We want to price things that's competitive in the market and also looks at the ROI, right? Not your worth. So if you're overly attached, even I would say overly attached to the career you once had, even though you no longer feel in alignment with it, overly attached to how people perceived you, even though you're no longer in alignment with it, just notice how that comes up, because the shadow pattern this week could be either disillusioned or holding on to those directions because of that. All right, Mama, what do you think? What do you think, Daisy May? Do you want to go outside? You over this? Yeah. Okay, we'll go outside. Okay, Daisy says we're done. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you're feeling. And with that, leave a comment. Let me know if you would like these weekly. Okay, I got to go. I got a puppy that's restless. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.